I was born in a little cottage, one up and one down house in a row called Bailey Street. And of course, my father dreamt of his children doing much better than him, and he did all in his power, and my mother, to get us to have a good education. So we both worked hard in junior school and got to grammar school. My sister and I, that is. I went to the local boys' grammar school, which was Jones's Westmoreland School for Boys. That's in Pontypool. I used to have to travel on a bus every day and walk a while from Pontypool, from the centre of Pontypool to the school, which is up on a hill. It was at that time, and that was over 40 years ago, a boys' grammar school. And I went there with intrepidation, because it had been thought of as a strict school. But of course I found it a lovely place. I enjoyed it a lot. There were lots of things that I didn't like about school, but there were many, many more that I did like. Actually, thinking back on my school days, I really enjoyed it. And of course, before I went there, I'd found out in the junior school that I wasn't too bad at art. I liked it very much. In the junior school, in the last 2 years, the teachers discovered me, as it were. They discovered I had some kind of a talent compared with the other people, the other pupils. So that I did special assignments where all the others had nothing else to do. I used to have to get on with special assignments. So that when I got to Westmorland, actually by then, the art side of it had sort of faded. I had to concentrate on everything else. But then eventually at about 13 it all came back and I wanted to do art. I wasn't very academic and didn't do very great things in the academic side of it, although I was in an academic year. My year were very, very academic. Some of them were brilliant. I've just heard recently that one of them is the chief psychiatrist in a huge hospital in Georgia in the USA. I didn't even know about him, and I'd forgotten his name until his mother told me. Malcolm Bowen was in my form in school. And lots of others became doctors and so on because they went on to the sciences, and I wasn't that way inclined. I went on to the art side. My sister, who was nearly 5 years older than me, had gone to the county school for girls and went on to do French. Used to be breaking out in blooming acne all the time. Put against the light or something, or turn round to the light.
Me?
Yeah. Okay. Do you want me to
Look at David when you're talking. David, come up and sort of come over here a bit. Come here.
Oh,
Right, look at my hand. Talk to my hand.
talk to your hand, okay.
Pretend that my hand's still there.
Alright.
Come on then.
Oh, well, I didn't want to finish A-levels because I wasn't interested in the subjects, except the art, of course. So I took the entrance exam to Cardiff Art College in 1956, and got in September 1956 and started to do the National Diploma course. The first 2 years was called intermediate, and in that you had to do the basics and had to go at everything. I loved the idea of having to go at all sorts of crafts. The one that I really enjoyed was carving, sculpture, stone carving. Hard work, really, really hard work when you had to do it all day. I didn't have to do it all the week. I used to have to do a day at it, and it was hard work. And sometimes you made a real mess of it. I remember when I did my intermediate exam, sculpture exam, we had to do about 3 weeks at that to get a final piece. And about 2.5 weeks through into the exam, I was doing some kind of sculpture with 2 figures in it, and one of the heads fell off. And that was what I thought was disastrous, but the lecturer told me, or cut it down again. We've got enough room, so I had to cut it right down and make new heads, having about 2 or 3 days to do it all in and finishing it. Anyway, I got that. I passed the intermediate. I was just now, about an hour ago, looking at my certificates that I had from then. The intermediate certificate after 2 years, and then had to go on to what was called the National Diploma course. And I decided then to do a mixed course again. For some unknown reason, I wanted, because I liked sculpture, I liked it modelling. I did terracotta modelling and painting Maine, fine art Maine, and did 2 years at that. But the silly thing about that was that I failed in the fourth year of my college, the sculpture part. I failed it. The person who was acting as the adjudicator or the judge or the examiner, if you like to call him that, didn't like my work, obviously. His name was Arnold Machin, who's quite a well-known English terracotta modeller. He's got work in the National and the Tate, in the Tate anyway, if not the National. And he didn't like my work, and he didn't like a lot of other people's work in that year. He failed a lot of people. In fact, I failed the year and I had to reset it. I gave up the sculpture part and did fine art for a year, painting, fine art. I passed it eventually.